Tonk Nation, man, we're back, guys. We're back. Welcome back to another video, man. Well, this is gonna be a good one today. You guys asked me for a more in-depth build video of what I'm currently using, so I brought it to you guys. We're gonna show you a little bit of gameplay here in a minute, but if you guys love Diablo, hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, join our Diablo community, and stay up to date on everything Diablo. Guys, you ready? Let's check it out. Here it is, baby. Get it! Dude, if I can get it. Holy mackerel, I like this. There's a lot of things. Alright, so we showed a little bit of gameplay, and now we're going to go over the items that I'm currently using on this build. Is this in-game items material? Some of them are, some of them aren't. This is all about just what you get and trying to flex it into what you have, okay? So you just got to really pay attention to the stuff that you have. But what I have is I have each point of fury generated while at maximum fury grants 16 fortify. I really believe that with your armor that you want to stick with things that make you beefier, okay? You can change this around. This is not my in-game item. I am not to the complete in-game yet, but I am currently working on it. But I just want to show you guys what I'm working with. Now this right here, Rage of the Horogath or whatever, this item is super big. You need this one, okay? You farm it in nightmare dungeons and just hope for the roll. You know what I mean? Pretty much that's all it is. But this one, it gives you lucky hit up to 32% chance to reduce the cooldowns of your non-ultimate skills by 1.5 seconds. So with this build, okay, with this build, you're using your shouts, right? You're using all your shouts. This item gives you a chance to reduce the cooldown of your shouts, so that's more uptime, that means more berserking, that means more damage. That is insane. So just remember that. Go for the chest piece. This chest piece right here, it's a sacred unique. If you get it at a higher item power, you want this item, okay? It's a huge one. You got plus 18% physical damage, 9% critical strike chance, and 9% damage reduction from the enemies that are bleeding, and that is huge. And then you have some thorns, okay? And the next item, this also beautiful item with this build. It really goes well with this build, okay? Gore's devastating grips, okay? 35% attack speed. That just helps you with overall damage, right? Helps you to proc your vulnerability with your two-handed swords. I might want to change that up a little bit. The attack speed really isn't that like with this build, but it does help a little bit. Lucky hit chance, 4% lucky hit chance, plus 16% non-physical damage. Okay, so you're going to be getting just a little bit extra help there. I don't really like that roll. We're probably going to roll it out with something else and try to get a different one. But right here, plus 2 ranks of Whirlwind. That is beautiful. Get it. Then down there we got Whirlwind explodes every 2 seconds after it ends, dealing 26% of base damage dealt to surrounding enemies as fire damage. So you're whirlwinding, you're going ham with your main ability, and then you're gonna blow up. All right, it just adds even more DPS. That is a great item to have. It is a great roll. I like that down there. That aspect is very beautiful. Steadfast to the Berserking Warlord leg plates, plus 32 strength, 1% total armor, berserking duration. That's why I kept this item, is for that 10% berserking duration. I want to berserk longer to do more damage. 4.7% damage reduction while fortified. We're just adding a little bit more beefiness. Lucky hit, okay? Up to a 35% chance to gain 622 fortify whenever you deal direct damage while berserking. So while you're berserked, you're getting fortified. While you're fortified, you ain't taking as much damage. You're able to go ham longer. Your berserking is going longer because your shout up time with the other items, right? The other item, your chest plate. Plus, it's great to have. You want to have a little bit of fortify, okay? It makes you beefier, especially in later tiers. Then you have your Sovereign Greaves of Audacity, okay? Plus 27% dex. I don't really like that. I really want to kind of go with strength, but I don't have it rolled yet. Dodge chance is really not that important either, but I like down here the plus 32 strength. That is beautiful. 28% Lightning resistance, but right down here, this is the reason why I have these boots. When there is at least 5 close enemies, stun them for 3 seconds, and this can occur once every 20 seconds. Now, I wish that it was more than 20 seconds, but it is what it is. It's going to help you in those big group cluster mobs, and it's going to stun them for 3 seconds, and it's just going to it's going to add some survivability to the build. This is just a stat stick, plus 24% damage to close enemies. Vulnerable damage, you want that. Vulnerable damage is huge. Damage to crowd controlled enemies, so when they get stunned by your boots, then this is going to help you with the stat stick. It just, you know, helps you do more damage. 20% damage to stunned enemies. Whenever you deal direct damage while berserking, you inflict 52% base damage dealt as additional bleeding damage, so just adding even more bleeding damage to where the build is, so that's really good right there. Now we're going up here to our necklace. This necklace is kind of but this is what I'm rolling with. You're really just kind of going with the aspects here, especially with the level that I am, 64. If you're above, you just try to find these aspects and try to go, you know, more ham with it. Imprinted, so we got damage reduction plus 3% strength plus 13.5% berserk duration. So I'm stacking that berserk duration so that way I do more damage for a longer period of time, especially during like boss fights when they take a little bit longer. You want to have a little bit more berserk time. All right, then right here, this is the reason why I equipped it. Plus 2 ranks to heavy-handed passive. You're using heavy-handed plus 2 ranks is going to add more damage. That is just a good combination here. Then your aspects. Skills deal up to 30% increased damage based on your available primary resource when you cast, receiving the maximum benefit while you have full primary resource. The reason that this is beautiful is because when you first start your Whirlwind, this will capture the damage of your Whirlwind, okay? Then because you always want to use Whirlwind when you're full, you know, full resource, because you will do more damage. So this, on top of everything else, is going to add a ton of damage, okay? That is why this aspect is very, very beautiful and very helpful to the build. I have Devious Heart. Your skills have 20% chance to knock down all the enemies. It's just to help kind of survive a little bit. All right, now we're going for Accelerating Ring. Maximum Fury, overpowered damage, critical strike chance, 11% damage to stunned enemies, which helps. And critical strikes with core skills increase your attack speed by 18%. This is probably my weakest item for the build. I am trying to find another ring, but I haven't really found anything that's been much better yet, so I'm still trying to farm the better rings. So this one's kind of like a flex spot for you if you want to try, you know, figure something else out. Mother's Embrace. All right, so this item has been very controversial for me, especially on my stream. I haven't been able to change it out because I put the Barber Heart on this ring. So I only have one other Barber Heart. And the thing is that once you put the Barber on a necklace, you can't take it off and keep it. So literally you're stuck with whatever you put it on. Okay, so if you get a Barber, make sure you slot it on something that's really going to help your build, okay? So, but I got plus 10 all stats, lucky hit chance, critical strike chance, and overpowered damage. It is what it is. If a core skill hits 5 or more enemies, 20% of the resources refunded. I mean, it kind of helps, but this item I definitely will be changing as soon as possible, as soon as I find something that's better than it, that will increase my damage. And once I find that, I will let you guys know. But the Barber Heart critical strikes, all subsequent damage within 3.9 seconds is absorbed by the target, then it erupts into a surrounding enemy. Stored damage is increased by 12% per second. Huge damage. huge damage. If you have a Barber Heart, you need to put it on something, because I'm telling you, you will go from at least World Tier 3 to World Tier 4 with just the Barber. All right, now we got our first sword. We got a slashing weapon. You really want a sword here, but I got this because it's still kind of like another stat stick, and it just kind of, I'm not too, you know, hating on this. So 13% damage to close enemies. I just kind of wanted to get more damage on close enemies. 5% damage to crowd controlled enemies. We're stunning them with 2 of our armor pieces, and so, you know, in case they get stunned, I want to do a little bit more damage. 8% damage while berserking, huge. And then plus 23% basic skill damage, huge. All right, basic skill damage, basic skill. So that's going to help with your lunge. It's going to make you do more damage, and it's just you're going to pop. Whenever you deal direct damage while berserking, inflict 25% of the base damage as additional bleeding damage. I know that it's not proc, so I'm actually in the process of finding a new sword here. I would try to find anything with some special stats for your build and just kind of roll with it until you find that perfect item. All right, after that, we got our Flamered of the Expectant. 10% critical strike chance or damage, damage while bleeding enemies, 3.5% damage to crowd controlled enemies, which you know is stunned, and 13% damage to slowed enemies. So with the skills that we have, which I'm about to go over, everything will be slowed, so you're automatically doing 13% more damage. The aspect and printing. Attacking enemies with a basic skill increases your damage of your next core skill by 5% up to 30%. That's huge. It's going to help your Whirlwind a ton. But this is your bread and butter, guys. The Demon Blade of the Dire Whirlwind. This is the item that you want, okay? 70% damage to close enemies. Insane. 90% damage to injured enemies. They're already slowed. They're going to be injured. They're going to go below, what, 50 or 35% health. Once they go below 35% health, they're injured. They're below 80% health, I'm sorry. They're injured. So you're automatically doing 90% more damage. Plus 75%, or 75 all stats, plus 42% vulnerable damage. And with your abilities, everything will be vulnerable for a long time and you will pump out the damage. But let's get into the aspect. Critical strike chances increased by 12%. For each second, it is channeled up to 36%. 3 seconds, you're at 36%. 3 seconds. So you only have to be using Whirlwind for 3 seconds to get the extra 36% critical strike chance. That's huge, especially add it to the Barber Heart. It's insane, absolutely insane. All right, guys, so let's get on. The expertise, we're using the two-handed sword expertise. Sorry that this is a little bit longer. You guys wanted a longer video, so I'm bringing it to you. I'm going over things a little bit more in depth. So the skills that we're using, basic skills, we're using lunging strike, then we're using enhanced lunging strike, and then we're using combat lunging strike. To grant you berserking for 1.5 seconds. You have the other aspects to kind of increase your berserking. So on top of it all, you have an extra 1.5 seconds. Whirlwind. We have the extra 2 ranks of Whirlwind. You want to pump this up as high as possible. Then we have Enhanced Whirlwind, and then we have Furious Whirlwind to inflict 40% base damage as bleeding. So you're going to be adding a little bit of bleed right there. That helps you a ton. Then we're going Rallying Cry, 1 point, Enhanced Rallying Cry, and then Tactical Rallying Cry for the Fury regeneration and the 20% resource regeneration. Then we're going Challenging Shout, 1 point, Enhanced Challenging Shout, and then we're going Tactical Challenging Shout. So that way it's active. You gain 3 Fury each time you take damage. It's going to help you with staying in your Whirlwind. War Cry, we're going 1 point, and then we're going Enhanced, and then we're going Power War Cry. At least six enemies nearby, you have 10% bonus damage, that which almost always happens, so you want that bonus damage. 3 points in the Booming Voice to give your duration, and then Raid Leader for the 1% maximum life. It just helps sustain a little bit, and then 2 points in the Guttural Yell to get enemies to deal 8 less damage per sec. Or oh my gosh, your shout skills cause enemies to deal 8% less damage. All right, 3 points in aggressive resistance, 3 points in the prolific fury for berserking. Fury generation is increased. Now we're going down here. We're trying to get a little bit longer this video. I don't want it to be too long. Pit Fighter, 3 points. No Mercy, 3 points. 1 in the hamstring, 3 into cut to the bone. This is going to add a lot of damage, especially you're adding 15% increased damage to vulnerable enemies and bleeding effects. So we're using a two-handed sword, so you want a little bit of extra bleed. Thick Skin for a little bit of sustain. 3 points in the counter offensive. While you have fortified for over 50% of your maximum life, you deal 12% increased damage. So you're fortified because your shout and because of your aspects. So this is going to add 12% increased damage. Now for your ultimate, we're going to go down here. We're going to get Wrath of the Berserker, then we're going to get Prime, and then we're going to get Supreme. So every 50 Fury you spend increases your berserking bonus damage by 25%. So you're adding a ton of damage while berserked. You're berserked for a long time. It just helps a lot. Heavy-handed, 5 out of 3. You want to max that out. While using a two-handed weapon, you deal 25% increased critical strike damage. That is what I'm saying. That is why you want those, I think it was gloves. Now down here for your key passives, we're getting gushing wounds. It's going to add some bleed damage because you're using a two-handed sword. It all just synergizes very, very well. All right, it all just synergizes very, very well. So now let's get on to the Paragon points. The Paragon board. This I'm going to go over very, very quickly. Just pretty much snapshot the video, snapshot the build, whatever you're doing there. Or yeah, so all right, this is your first board, your starter board. Just go ahead and snapshot it. That's what you want to go. Then you want to go Warbringer. Up here you want Mortal Draw. That's going to help you a ton when swapping weapons, because you are swapping weapons, and it's going to give you 18% chance to critically strike. That's going to be big. Then we're going with legendary node Warbringer. Every 75 fury you spend, you gain 12% of your maximum life, so it's going to add a little bit of sustain. So just go ahead and snapshot that, guys, so that way you have it in your phone or on your laptop or computer. Now we're going to go over to, we're going to get Flawless Technique. You're just going to just go on over here. Rare Node Brash, 4% damage reduction from close enemies. You just want to add some sustain. Then you want Martial. After casting a shout skill, the active cooldown of every shout skill is reduced by 1.2 seconds. So you're pumping it, you're making it so that your shouts are up longer, up faster, and when your shouts are up, you're doing extremely more damage. So that's what you want there. So go ahead and screenshot this, guys. There you go. You got Havoc for 15% critical strike damage. That's big. Now we're going to go down here to Carnage. This is what you want there. Go ahead and screenshot. Right there. All right, so now we're going to go down here. We're going to get Enraged, 15% berserking duration. We're just adding on to the berserk. Then we're going to get Territorial. You gain 15% bonus damage reduction against close enemies. We're just trying to make things that, you know, we're trying to add a little sustain, especially for late game. You want that. All right, now we're going to pop over here. We're going to get Hemorrhage. Just follow the nodes, take the picture. There you go. All right, now we're getting Grit, 4% damage reduction from enemies that are bleeding. So pretty much everything's bleeding, so you're getting extra, you know, from that. Skills that critically strike generate 3 fury, so that's going to help you there. Now for the last board, we got Decimator. All right, we're popping up here. Take a screenshot. There you go. All right, so we want Brawl. So brawling skills deal 18% increased damage. Help you a ton, guys. Oh my gosh, 18% more damage. We're just stacking the damage, stacking all the things. Pillage, 10% vulnerable damage. Absolutely huge. And then over here, we got Brawn. We got 10% physical damage and 4% maximum life. And then the last one is Decimator. Lucky hit, two-handed slashing weapons attack. Have up to a 10% chance to make enemies vulnerable for 2 seconds. So we're stacking that vulnerable damage and we're going ham on everything, man. We're getting it. All right, chat, here we go. So, interns, use this build. Let me know how it goes, guys. I appreciate every single one of you. If you're still watching, leave me a comment. Tell me if you're going to try this build or not. I appreciate you guys. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way you know every time that I post a new video. It helps me to help you. That way I know that you guys want more Diablo content. If you guys want, right over here, we have a video of what is Diablo doing in season 2. If you want to see my outlook on it, it's right there. If you want to see my original build video, it's right here also. If you just want to go check that out, I would appreciate it. And if you guys are interested, let me know. I love you guys. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys next video. Let's go get it.